It's late April and I'm back in the Mörrum River. The first fresh run salmon has already been caught and there's an eager anticipation among fishermen from all over Europe who scanned the river for any sign that will tell that the big run has started. This normally occurs in mid-May, but this varies of course, and you never can tell exactly when the fresh run salmon will come. For many fly fishermen, this is the ultimate catch in Scandinavian waters, and I totally agree. But even though it's a fantastic fish, the time and effort you have to put in to get this elusive silver torpedo to bite can be frustrating. And still, even if you fish around the clock in May, there's absolutely no guarantee that you actually get a fresh run salmon to bite. So I say, fishing for the silver is pretty much just hard work and often very little rock and roll. The fishing rules in the Mörrum River are clear. If you catch a fish and choose not to release it, you must stop your fishing for the rest of the day. I normally harvest 1 or maybe 2 fish a year from the river. And this one looks as a perfect keeper. It's fat, it's fresh and it's a male sea trout.
Ja, vi får titta på den.
I just want to take a closer look before I make up my mind.
Ja, vi ska se. Det är en fin hals. Det är riktigt tjock. Det är en sån mellan 3,5-4 kilo kanske.
There's no doubt about it. It's a keeper.
Ja, men jag behåller den.
Du behåller den. Vi ska se.
But before I can keep it, I have to land the fish. And that can always be tricky, especially here, the current is strong. But at least I don't have to do it myself.
Ja, den är jättefin.
This is the right way to land a fish. Stay close to the river bank so the fish can swim around your legs. Use small movements, don't chase the fish, and when the right moment occurs, be determined. Excellent executed here by my friend Salmon. It takes an experienced guy to make it look this easy. And yes, that is a nice catch. A nice sea trout, as good as it gets. It's just over 5 kilo and only 71 centimeter in length. The only fish I kept this season. I'm at the Parkinson Jet in Pool 15, close to the Baltic Sea. This is one of the first hotspots where you can make contact with the fresh run salmon. So it's always a special feeling fishing this spot. Yeah, that was a nice bite and it sure looks like a very silvery fish. This must either be what I'm hoping for. Not a big one, 6 or 7 kilo maybe. But if it's a fresh run salmon, I don't care about the weight. I can feel the adrenaline rush as the fish moves upstream. It's a cool feeling, and I'm totally focused and determined. I'm going to land this fish. And after several big jumps, it's still on the hook. There's a big tree in the water just upstream the jetty, and I don't want the fish to get snag in it. So I put as much pressure on my fishing gear as possible. It works. The fish heads out again to the middle of the current. It's a crazy fish. I take a closer look at the fish. It's a very nice one, but it's not fresh run salmon. It's a hybrid. Close, but no cigar. I normally would have kept this fish. It's a perfect keeper because hybrids don't breed. But I kept the sea trout the day before and I don't want to stop fishing, and besides, one keeper is enough. So I released it, as gently as possible from this spot.
Ja, så är det.
In May, you have the whole season ahead of you and all that comes with it in terms of dreams and expectations, and all exciting meetings with old and new fellow fishermen. Because if you love fishing, there's always things to discuss, and this exchange of experience can go on for hours. And sometimes, especially during May, it's more talking than fishing.
Nej men god dag, god dag. Nej, det är en annan. Mitt i där borta.
Every bite you get this time of year makes your heartbeat skyrocket, because you know what could be in the other end of the line. This is a small sea trout though. On the other hand, fishing in May can feel like a mission impossible, as there is a lot of guys in the river, especially on the southern stretch, and everyone is fishing like they have grown up with a fly rod in their hands. So, if you want to maximize your chances of catching a fresh run salmon, you probably have to think outside the box, and that's easier said than done. One of these eureka moments actually occurred just a few years ago when some guys started to fish at night for fresh run salmon. In the summer, everybody was fishing the dark hours, but in May, nobody did because that was considered not to be a good idea. And guess what happened? Big surprise, they caught salmon, and now it's more common we catches around midnight. Still, I prefer to fish during the bright hours, mainly because it's more fun to see what you're up to, but also because I'm filming. Shooting a film in total darkness might be a revolutionary idea, but in the end it would hardly be a blockbuster. This turned out to be a rather nice sea trout, but it was an old one. And there you can see a glimpse of the Parkinson Jetty, one of the most legendary hotspots in the Mörrum River. This may look like an idol, and it sure would have been if it just hadn't been for the fish in front of me. It should not be there. It should be further out in the current, and it definitely should be more fearful. Sadly, it's a sick fish, and it will probably soon die. This May we saw some sick fish, but not in the same magnitude as in 2014, when a lot of fish die in the river during the fresh run fishing. Not at all a good sign, however, and more alarming is that this problem is not isolated to the Mörrum River. This situation is more or less the same throughout the east coast of Sweden. Scientists are scratching their heads, and the cause to this mass death is still a mystery. The water flow in the river was rather low. In the beginning of May it was just over 20 cubic meter, and in the end of May these figures were reduced to only 8, and stayed so throughout the whole season. The water temperature, on the other hand, was very low, under 9 degrees Celsius in late April, and in late May it was over 18 degrees. It didn't stop there, of course, but stayed rather stable through the summer month. I fish in the north stretch. As this time of year, if you get a bite here, it's more likely to be an old salmon rather than a fresh one. I soon realized that this was the case, although the salmon is very silver, is slim and not at all in the same condition as it would have been if it had come straight up from the Baltic. A perfect 360, right there. Despite the fact that it's an old salmon, it's not smoked yet. It still has some power left and I got to stay focused so I don't lose it. If you look closely, you can briefly see the gyro socket, which is the fly I normally use this time of year. But it sure was a fantastic bite and nice fish to fight, so I'm pretty much happy with that. After all, the surprising feeling when the fish bite is what makes fly fishing so cool. And back out in the river again. The summer fishing, by the way, was as tricky as ever. Low water and high temperature is not the perfect combination when fishing for salmon. I caught this salmon on the only rainy day this summer. Unfortunately, I broke my fly rod, so I had to land it in, let's call it, a traditional way. It worked fine, however. And there it is in the shadows, a rather big male salmon.